morning friends, standard 12 commerce, subject OCL and chapter number 4, that is organization. See, in this particular chapter, we learn about the meaning of organization, then after we learn about characteristics, then process, and after the completion of process, we learn next topic, that is structure of an organization. So various structures is there. Out of 5 structures, about two structures that we discussed in the last video, and right now we are going to discuss about the next 3 structure of an organization. So which 2 organization structure is there? Number 1, that is linear organization. Number 2, that is functional organization. And in last particular video that we learned in deeply. Okay, so what do you mean by linear organization and what do you mean by functional organization? Right now we are going to discuss about the third and next topic of structure of an organization, third type, and that third type is formal organization. Fourth type, that is informal organization, and fifth type, that is matrix organization. So in this way we have to complete our topic, that is 5 different types of organization. So here 2 types of organization, that is formal and informal. So what do you mean by formal organization and characteristics, and what do you mean by informal organization as well as characteristics, that we have to learn right now. So here what do you mean by formal organization? So here, in order to achieve the predetermined goal or objective, the formal structure of relationship among the person and work is established is known as formal organization. What is mean? In order to achieve predetermined goal, as we discussed earlier in management, starting from the management, that without the objective you cannot do the plan. And if you are not doing plan, no question about the organization. So first of all, you have to decide your goal, decide your objective, and when you decide the objective, so here you have to create the formal structure. Formal structure. What is mean by formal structure? Level of management. That who is established or who is appointed as a top level, that who is appointed as a middle level, and who is appointed as a bottom level. And that particular chart is called a structure of an organization. So here we have to convert that all the employees into various types of structure. We have to fit as per the qualifications, educations, and do the formal structure and relationship among the people. Okay, that who is subordinate of whom and who is responsible for whom. Okay, subordinates and superior level. So here, and work is established is known as formal organization. So here again, to achieve the predetermined goal, the formal structure of relationship, the most important word is formal structure of relationship among the person and work is established is known as formal organization. Here the linear and functional, both the organization is the type of formal organization, because we learned in last video that linear and functional organization. Okay, formal, that structure is that in top level CEO, then general manager, then departmental heads, and then workers. There is the structure of management, structure of organization is there. So here is the linear and functional, both the organization is there. Those who are types of formal organization. Here power and responsibility is established and is given from top level to bottom level. As we discussed earlier, suppose this is your level of management. Okay, that here top level management, here middle level, okay, and in last that is bottom or lower. So what happened? Here CEO is there. Okay, CEO is there. Then Chief Executive Officer, then General Manager, DM, that is managerial, that is manager. Okay. So here top level management is there. Here departmental heads, as we know, 6 types of departmental head is there, like finance, sales, marketing, production, purchase, and HR. And here worker, jobber, and foreman is there. So here power and responsibility means the top level management is there. Those who have superior level power, middle level has lower power, and bottom level has lower level. So it came from top to down, up to down. So here the responsibility and power is delegated from top level to bottom level. Okay. So this is the meaning of formal organization. Now here we are going to discuss about the characteristics of formal organization. So here total 6 characteristics is there. One by one we discuss all the characteristics. Number 1, it's a formal structure. As we know that in this particular thing, it's a formal structure. It means that it is pre-decided that who is situated in that position, which position, okay, and who is situated in this top level, who is a departmental head, and who is a worker. So it's a formal structure. Each and every person work should be assigned beforely, okay, before the starting of that particular project. Each and every workers have assigned that particular work. It means that the structure is formal. Okay. Number 2, lacking flexibility. See, in this type of formal organization, flexibility is not there. Okay, because it's a formal. Okay, the way of communication, the way of work, it should be formal. So here, no flexibility is there. You have to do the work. You have to do all the works, whatever you give, all the works that you have to do in a proper level. Okay, in the organization. So here, flexibility is not there. Okay. Number 3, delegation of authority and responsibility from top to bottom. So here various types of delegation of authority as well as responsibility. Again, what do you mean by authority and what do you mean by responsibility? So responsibility, that means that person is responsible to complete the work. That is called responsibility. And what do you mean by authority? To complete the work, we have to give some power. So with the help of that power, that particular person do the work from other people, and that is called a power. So here power and responsibility from top level to bottom level, because here top level, highest level of authority is there, here as per requirement, and here as per requirement. So this is the level of management as well as structure of organization. Formal structure, whatever we talk, whatever we do, always that you have to do in a formal way. If we have given the order, it is top to bottom. Whatever work that they have to do, they have to give the reporting from bottom level to top level. Whatever work do, they have to submit the report to this level, and whatever they have to do, they have to submit the report to the top level management. So here delegation of authority and responsibility is from top level to bottom level. So this is the 3 characteristics. Number 4, when it is important, so here large scale of organization is there, then it is required, then it is possible, then it is helpful to organize the particular area. So here, as we discussed, the linear as well as functional organization also, that linear and functional organization is helpful when the large scale of business is there. Okay, when the business size is large, as per the scope, as per the area, as well as per the manpower. Okay, for example, 100 employees are there, 500 employees are there, thousands employees are there. At that time, this type of organization is helpful. So, formal organization is helpful when the large scale industry is there, large scale business is there. Number 5, there is a particular relationship between the two people. Okay, here as we know, those persons who are working as a bottom level management or here as a worker, he knows that his superior level is second level, middle level, and those person who are working as a departmental head, he knows that superior level is top level management. So here what happened in the formal organization, superior as well as subordinates are pre-decided before the work. Pre-decided that this person is your superior, you have to give the answerable to him, and this much team is your subordinates. You have to do the work with these people. So here particular relations are there. They have to decide a particular relationship among the people. And last, communication. So as we discussed in the formal organization, communication is also formal. It means that no other words is used. You have to speak completely, thoroughly. Whatever you speak, it's a formal. Okay. It means that not joking, not you do not have to talk rather than business talk. That is called a formal communication. It's a limited communication, and mostly in formal communication, mostly they have to done with the help of written communication. Okay, either whatever order you have to give in a written communication, and whatever work complete by the lower level, they have to give that all the reports in a reporting form. So it's a written communication. So in the formal communication, written communication is the best option. Okay, so this is all about formal organization. What we learned that the meaning, in order to achieve a predetermined goal, the formal structure of relationship among the person and work is established is known as formal organization. Linear and functional both organize a type of formal organization, and power and responsibility is given from top to bottom. This is also included in the characteristics. What is the characteristics? 6 characteristics is there. Number 1, formal structure. Number 2, lacking flexibility. Number 3, delegation of authority and responsibility from top level to bottom level. Number 4, large size. Number 5, particular relations. And number 6, that is communication. So this is the first part of this video. Now in second part, let me learn about informal organization. This is completely opposite of this organization. That we have to do the work as a formal. Here, this type of organization is made by the human relations. Okay, like friend circle. Whatever we work, that particular place, either it is company or school or college, whatever is there, our colleagues is there, and when you do the work with them, one informal friendship is there, and that communication and that organization is called informal organization. So here, let me learn. Formation of the intellectual relationships contained with the achieve of result, contribution in the achieve of result, as well as it is from any without planning. Okay, the formation is to without any planning. That is called informal organization. Again, formation of intellectual relationship, internal relationship. It is done with the internal relationship. Number 2, contribution in achieving result. See, this is informal, but it is most helpful when you do work as a teamwork, because when informal relationship is there, if one person do not able to do the work, then other people is helpful to that particular people. So here contribution is achieving the goal, and this is that type of organization that formation is without planning. It means that it is not decided that who is in a top level, who is in a middle level, who is in the bottom level. All are equal in this particular level of organization. So here, form without any planning, and that is called informal organization. In informal organization, no proper chart and no formal chart is prepared, because it's an informal. Okay, it's a informal. That once formulation is there, all are equal. Sometimes head is there. When one team is there, one friend circle is there, one person, those who are head of that particular team. But proportion or importance of the people is same in this type of organization. It is the shadow of formal organization. It is the part like shadow. Okay, when you are stand in front of sunlight. So you see your shadow. Okay, so same as informal organization is the shadow of formal organization, and here subordinates structures. Okay, so these structures it subordinates. It's an informal, it's a universal, it's a changing form. Okay, no communication criteria is there. You can speak anything. Okay, and either the best example is our friend circle. Okay, either we are working or at a home, our human relations is there, and that is informal organizations. So this is the meaning of informal organization. Again, characteristics is there. So here 8 characteristics is there, and here we have to discuss one by one all the characteristics. Number 1, that is informal structure. See, the structure of organization is not fixed. It's an informal. It means that it is not decided that whose person is situated in top level, bottom level, or lower level. All are at same level. Okay, so informal structure is there. Number 2, it is based on human relations. Because when the people, those who are working together, same types of feelings, same type of hobby, same type of interest. That type of people that are meet together and they are doing informal organizations. Okay, for example, in organizations for youngsters are there, those who have different types of group. Okay, at the age of 30, after 35, 35 to 50, another group is there because their interest, hobby not same. So same kind of feelings, same kind of hobby, same kind of interest. That type of people that they are meet together and they are made informal organizations. So number 2, that is it is based on human relations. Number 3, it's ever changing because when your work area is changed, it's changing. Let us take my example. Okay, that I am doing work, I am working in a knowledge and school area. At that time, my circle is different. From last 2 years, I am working in this school, that Excellent English Medium School. My organization, informal organization, is changed because friend circle is changed, area is changed, work time is changed. So this is the ever changing. When you are leave one place and move another place, you are creating new environment, you are creating new friends, and that time informal organization is there because you are meeting new people. You are creating new relations, and that is the call. It's an ever changing. Okay. Number 4, it's a universal. Not only in a business, in your study, in your society, okay, in your family, each and everywhere, informal organization is there. So it's a universal, each and everywhere. Business relation also. Okay, that different types of groups are there. One people is there, but different types of groups are there. That school friend, college friend, colleagues, friends, okay, like society friends. So this is the different types of friends that they are making informal organization. It's a universal. Each and everywhere you are creating your group. Number 5, it's an informal communication. See, in this type of communication, in this type of organization, there is no rules and regulation that how to talk because it's a friend circle. Okay, so this is the informal communication because all are at same level, so you can speak anything. Okay, think about that. That when we are meeting, then we are meet together all the friends. Which type of talking that we have to do? It's a free. So here in informal organization, communication is also informal. You are free to speak anything in front of your friends. Same way in informal organization, that you are free from speak, free from word. You can speak anything to your friend. So this is 5 types, 5 characteristics. Informal structure based on human relations, ever changing, universal, and informal communication. Next, number 6. When it is used to, when your organization's size is small. Okay, number of people is small, like 10 to 15 people are there, then it's okay. Then you can do the work. with the help of each other, and you can form informal structure. Number 7, lack of control. There is no control because it's an informal communication. It's an informal organization. Anybody can do speak anything because all are at same level. So here there is no lack of there is a lack of control. There is no control among each other people because same type of people that they are with. Okay, so this is the lack of control. And number 8, complement to formal structure. It is complement. Okay, it is same like opposite to formal organization. When formal organization is there, no question about informal organization. And when nothing of informal formal organization, there should be informal organization. Two types of organization out of two, one should be adopted. Either you have to adopt formal organization, either in informal. Let us take an example. In a same time or in a same work area, you have to do formal as well as informal organization. Suppose we are doing in a multinational job, multinational company. You are doing job in a multinational company. So at the time of work area, see, at the time of work area, we have to follow formal organization. But in the recess time, or in the free time, what you are doing? Informal organization. Okay, like you are talking about your family, you are talking about your goal, you are talking about your friends. It's an informal organization. So two type of organization is there. Number 1, it's a formal, and second one which is informal. Same as characteristics of that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here after the completion of formal and informal structure of organization, now we will discuss the last method, a last type of the organization structure, and that name is matrix organization. What we learn? First of all, we learn linear organization, then we learn functional organization, then formal organization, informal organization, and right now we are going to discuss about matrix organization. So here matrix organization is a modern kind of organization right now. Okay, many companies are there, those who are adopted this type of organization. Here they are divided all the works into two parts. So they are divided all the works of two parts. Number 1, that is the simple kind of structure, and second one, that is project structure. So they are divided two parts. Now number 1, that is simple kind of structure, and second one, that is the project structure. In the simple kind of structure, that there is a part of decision making. It means that whatever decision that they are taken in the organization, they are taking with the help of simple kind of structure. Number 2, it's a project structure. In a project structure, that they are totally based on technical problem solution based. It means that whatever technical problem is there in machinery or whatever in our business organization, that they are taking with the help of this type of project structure people. So they are divided into two parts. Number 1, that is simple kind of structure, which is related to part of decision making, and number 2, it's a project structure. It is totally related to technical problem solution based. And here that it's a combination of these four, simple kind of structure and project structure. Combination of these four is called as matrix organization. Okay, so it's a matrix type of organization. They are divided into two parts. Number 1, simple kind of structure. Number 2, project structure. Here specialized work needed are given benefits because they are appointed various types of manager for the each products, each project, and produce the various types of products. And specialized people that they are established to complete the work. Here we will discuss here. So here specialized work is needed, given the special benefit to success this type of organization. So this is the formation, how it's work. So here in the matrix organization, first of all, general manager is there. See, as I discussed, they are divided all the works into various parts. For example, production, purchase, engineering, research and development. So here, for example, 4 type of work is there. Again, as I discussed, that they are what they are doing, they are making different types of project. So here, for example, project number 1, special manager is established for to complete the work. So here, project number 1, again manager. For example, project number 2, again manager. Project number 3, for the completion of that project number 3, again one manager should be there. So here, project is there and they are appointed one manager to complete that particular work. So this is the chart of matrix organization. Now how it's formulated? So here, as the manager is responsible for the project. So here, so first of all, general manager is there and they give authority and responsibility to the project manager as per their project. And the project manager is the responsibility to complete the work in given time and given prescription. So this is the main work of project manager. They are answerable. Okay, all the project managers are answerable to general manager. And general manager, what are they are answerable to CEO, managing director or director. Okay, so this is answerable of this top level management. So here managers are responsible for the project. It means that, for example, project number 1 is there. So manager of that particular manager of the project number 1 is responsible to complete the project. And when they are completed the project successfully, again they have to give another project to him. So in this way, they are divided all the works in different kind of project and complete the work and take the objective, success the objective, accomplish their objective. So manager responsible for the project. Some other persons also be obtained from the different works. See, one manager is not all-rounder to do all the work. So some different kinds of work that they have to do with the specialized person. So management also provide the different types of specialized person. For example, computer expert, research expert, manufacturing and creation expert, technical expert, etc. So they are giving various types of technical person also to complete the work and achieve the goal and complete the project. Here work is assigned by the top level to bottom level with the team. So here, for example, project number 1 is that number of people are there that they are doing work in team. Project number 2 is there, again teamwork is there. Project number 3, again teamwork is there. So they are assigned one particular team as per their need. They are providing the team work and complete the work. So they are giving work as per the top level to bottom level with the team. And more needed in, so when it is used, when short term work is required. This type of organization, when it is useful, when short term work is required, when short term people is there. Okay, project work is there in this particular work, this type of organization is useful. So this is the simplest formation of matrix organization. So what we learned today, that formal and informal communication, characteristics of formal and informal communication, and lastly that is matrix organization. So in this way we are completing a particular particular topic, that is structure of an organization. 5 types of structures are there. Number 1, that is linear organization. Number 2, functional organization. Number 3, formal organization. Number 4, informal organization. And number 5, that is matrix organization. Okay, now 2 points is left. Number 1, that is decentralization, and number 2, that is delegation of authority. Okay, that we will discuss in next part. Thank you.